Okay, everybody. This is Peanut. Peanut is my Loxodon nature cleric. He's a sweet boy, and he works hard. He had to take over for my other character who died, and I love him, and he's great. I'm using him as an example of how I set up my own character sheet when I am a player. As a player, I like things to be easy. Not gameplay wise, but Roll20 wise. So I have a lot of little macros set up, and I also like to, I don't know, be flashy and disruptive in chat. So I'm going to show you real quick how I have my stuff set up and what I like to do to get my character set up the way I like it. So first things first, this is Susie. She's an elephant we purchased with our first paycheck working for Acquisitions Incorporated. She's fantastic. All right. The first thing you need to do is make sure that your Dungeon Master has linked your miniature token to your character sheet. It's very important. Once the miniature is linked to the character sheet, you can hold down Alt, double click, and it'll automatically open the character sheet for you. What's cool is that you can manage your hit points from your miniature without having to go to your character sheet. So if he takes 10 damage, I hit -10, my hit points drop, and they also drop on my character sheet. If I receive some healing, my hit points go up, and they go up on my character sheet. Pretty cool. What other cool stuff does this do? Well, if I pop this character sheet out, so it was in its own window, and then I lost track of the character sheet. Oh no, it's gone. If I hold down Alt, double click my miniature, it pops back to the front. So it's a really easy way to keep track of your character sheet. If you don't like pop-out windows, another convenience feature you could do is simply just double click the top of your character sheet. It'll turn to this little transparent doodad, and then you have to double click it to make it appear again. Unfortunately, when it's minimized this way, Alt double click does nothing. So it doesn't reopen it or remaximize it or whatever. So yeah, that's just a really useful thing. Another thing is getting to know your token markers. Token markers, by default, you're going to have these really weird ones from Roll20 that don't make a lot of sense. If that's all your group has, I'm very sorry for you. There's a lot of great ones available in the shop. Your GM is also empowered to make their own. Yeah, so we have our own little tokens that we use, and they're very useful. Like if I get temporary hit points, I go to the temporary hit point guy, and I say, hey, I got 5 temporary hit points. Now I've got a big reminder that I have temporary hit points, because everybody forget those temporary hit points. If I'm benefiting from Shield of Faith, I'll put a number 2, and all I'm doing is mousing over the token I want, and then hitting the number key on the keyboard. And now I know that I have 2 extra armor class from Shield of Faith. Yeah, I could do my global modifier for AC on my character sheet, blah, 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 blah. But, I mean, I know how to do math. I'll be alright. Another cool one for Spellcaster is Concentrate. This reminds me that I'm concentrating. If I really care, I could do like a 1-minute casting time. So I could put a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Essentially count down until I'm out of spell. Not that I've ever seen a spell last a full minute in combat, but hey, it's something you could do. So yeah, they're really, really useful. I like them. Make sure you have that Bless on. That's another thing you do in global modifiers, though, which I do use, and I could show you. Let's see. Since we're talking about them, let's talk about global modifiers. Holding down Alt, double-click, open my character sheet, go to my Options tab. It's a little gear on the far right after the word Spells. You're going to want to make sure, because not every DM remembers to turn this on, that you have all your global modifiers checked. All of them. You want all of them. They're great. Alright, then we go back to the core sheet, and you can see that there are areas to add global modifiers. Pretty cool. The most popular attack modifier is, of course, Bless. So for global attack modifier, you could go in there and click on it and say, yes, Bless. And there we go, 1d4, and we're good to go. And now whenever I use an attack here, if I throw my light hammer, it'll automatically add Bless in there for me. When Bless ends, I can just check it back off. Same thing over here for skills. Global skill modifier. Most popular one is Guidance. They're already using that as their example. Okay. And then when I need it, I could toggle it on or off. If I was a rogue, I could do sneak attack, etc., etc., etc. Paladins, you could set up some global attack modifiers here. For armor, if I did want to use Shield of Faith, I could go in here and add Shield of Faith. And whenever I have Shield of Faith on, I could just come here and click it, and then it will automatically raise my armor class by 2. So if I click this, there we go, raises my armor class. Fantastic. Alright. So, what else? What else? Those are the global modifiers. Showed you that. So, I spent a lot of time with my character sheet, like, basically opened and popped out and hidden from me. And then if I needed, I just alt double-click to open my character sheet. But a lot of times I don't even need my character sheet, because it just uses a bunch of macros. So, say I get into a fight and I need to roll initiative. I have my own initiative button. I click it. It automatically adds me to initiative, rolls my initiative for me. It even sneaks a guidance spell in there, because you can add guidance to your initiative. It's pretty sweet. I like it. So, I rolled it to initiative. The fight's getting started. Alright, that's cool. Start things off with a Bless spell. So, what level am I casting it at? Casting it at level 1. Boom. Throws it up so everybody remembers what Bless does. Makes a big flashy to-do with this lovely animated spell card. I'll link them in the description. They're really cool. So, yeah. Or as a bonus action, I decide that I need to heal somebody. Not in the same turn, obviously, that I cast another spell, unless it's a cantrip. Anyways, so, boom, throw up Healing Word. Healing Word pops up. Get into a fight, throw out a Toll the Dead. My Toll the Dead macro says, are you damaged? Yes or no. That changes the damage output, so if they are damaged, I hit yes, or no, whichever, and then submit. It reminds them, hey, they gotta make a DC save, they're gonna take some damage from this. DM tells me I gotta make a saving throw. I don't open my character sheet, I just select my miniature, hit the saves button. What save do I have to make? Constitution. Boom, make the save. Yeah, ability check, same deal. Gotta make a strength check. Strength check. I got a skill one as well, so if I gotta make a skill check, okay, cool. Make an athletics check. And I'm doing all this without having to open my character sheet, which is pretty cool. And this isn't because the sheet is open in the background, it's just accessing the sheet through the buttons. So again, if I did a persuasion check, again, character sheet's not open, still accessing my sheet, rolling the check for me. It's pretty cool. If I needed to hit something, bust out a little shillelagh, there we go. So, how did I get these? How are these being made? Alright, while the character sheet is open, there is a bar down here at the bottom of the screen. Okay? And this bar allows you to drag stuff down to it and turn it into macros. Basically anything on your sheet could be dragged down here. So if I wanted to brag about having a fucking trunk, right, because Loxodon, I could just drag, let's see, the little thing down here, and it would look super ugly, but then I can right click on it, and I could change the color to be a lovely gray like my trunk. And then I could rename it and put trunk. And now I have a button called trunk. So whenever I decide to use my trunk, which is an amazing feature, I just hit this button, blam, throws up information about my trunk and an adorable trunk GIF. Alright. And this is basically anything here, you could drag it over. Resources, Cleric Juice, that's my Channel Divinities. Light Hammer, my only ranged attacks. And then, how many basic pitch healing potions I'm carrying. Basically, any resources you need, you can make a thing for these. I don't have a macro enabled to track them. There is stuff like that can be set up with API. In this game, we don't have all that stuff going on. But yeah, anything that you think is useful or you're going to use a lot, you could drag down here. Now, the abilities, the skills, and the saving throws, and the initiative, those are all custom macros. I'll provide a link in the description to a Google Doc that's got like Peanut's favorite macros or something, and you can access them there. Another one I have that I really like is when you're role-playing in chat by changing who you are to actually be your character, right? What's really cool is you can post pictures into chat. So I have a macro that allows me to paste in the URL of something, and then that will show up in the chat. So if I go over to like Giphy and I grab like, I don't know, Sexy Spider-Man, there we go. I could go back to the game, paste in this, boom, Sexy Spider-Man shows up. If another player does something that's just beyond all comprehension and belief, since we don't have web cameras and they can't see me make this face, I could just paste this face in so they know that's exactly how I feel about the decision they just made. I'm talking to you, Orwell. I'm talking to you. Yeah, so that's that. How do I get the gifts to appear in the abilities? I'll show you that real quick. So, opening up my character sheet by holding down Alt and double clicking. If I go to, say, Woodhammer, down here in description, I put bracket x bracket, parentheses, paste in the gift URL, and then close the parentheses. And that's it. And I'll provide an example of that in Peanut's favorite macros as well. So yeah, that is Peanut and how I usually run a character when I'm a player. If you found this useful, we have started a whole playlist of player tips. One of my best players is making the videos and always looking for new ideas about what you guys want to learn and know to make your Roll20 experience as a player better. So I'll link that playlist in the description of this video as well. So till I see you next time, have a great time, and later.